Alright guys, welcome back to the channel here. Thank you all for tuning in. Today I'm going to be putting this back under the knife again because I'm going to be going and fixing a lot of the wiring issues and just making everything overall work a bit better. I've also already pulled out the ice box for the water to air intercooler, and also in the background you guys will notice I've organized my garage quite a bit more. I have much more room and just not stuff just lying everywhere. I mean, I have some stuff lying everywhere, but it's a lot better organized, so I can actually have some working space to be able to do stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna start yanking this back all apart and going from there. I also need to see if I need to order a new O2 sensor for this wideband. It was out of a junkyard car, so I'm assuming it's probably gotten a lot of stuff touched on the end of the O2 sensor, so we'll go from there. But as some of you may have seen in my Instagram story, if you follow me on there, I had actually got this thing running and idling, so I didn't have to use brake clean to keep it running with everything, but I actually need to go in and do a bunch of tuning. But I'm like, before I even do that, I need to make sure this thing runs and drives with proper wiring in it, so it's not just a real sketchy car. So that is what I'm trying to accomplish with this video. Depending on when this video airs, which I have no clue when that will be at this point, you guys will also have seen it run as well, because I'm just going to throw it up as a YouTube short for you guys. So yeah, you guys will see that very shortly. If I do put it up there, you guys have already seen it, so I don't know why I said that. But yeah, let's dive right into tearing this thing down. I didn't know if I showed you guys the massive cannons this thing has on the back of it for an exhaust, so it's absolutely crazy. Like, these things are absolutely massive. My hand is, you know, kind of medium-sized for a man, but yeah, these things are absolutely massive. All right, we're going on a little maiden voyage. Oh, that's closed. It is closed. So, you may or may not be able to hear me because I don't have my microphone, but yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Just a little bit of a drive. Nothing too far. See if she breaks down. I have, don't judge me, but I literally have the battery bungee corded in the engine bay. And the brakes are not the best right now. Ooh, that has some real nice pickup though. All right, let's see. Man, this thing is absolutely fun. Ah, almost killed a little squirrel. Oh God, I miss this thing. All right, I'm gonna kind of enjoy this around the block a little bit, and then yeah, I'll give you guys an update when I get back. All right, well, I did Maiden Voyage, and yep, absolutely certified ripper. This thing is an absolute blast. Love it so much. Man, even with the mismatched fender, it still looks pretty good, even from this angle. But especially even more from this angle. Soon I'll be able to get this thing to run, and me and my little brother will be able to ride together. All right, so I took a little bit of time off camera just to reorganize the garage again, and I moved the MR2 over here. Just so it's easier for me to access everything, and I can actually get in the vehicle on the driver's side to be able to, you know, hop in, try to start it easier, especially once I start messing around with the actual wiring in here. I'm going to pull the cluster and the ignition switch wiring just to see and trace wires all the way back here and see what's actually going on, so I can actually start the actual rewiring process. You'll also notice I've pulled the Talon in because this is going to be going under the knife as well. I have a couple things I need to do to it. The threads on the head pulled, so if you actually look, so you'll actually see I have a bunch of exhaust gases leaking and just kind of peppering the side of the head there. So I need to helicoil the head here to be able to get proper gas going into the manifold to, you know, actually spool the turbo. I also have a couple other things that are going to be going on it. So I have a new oil cooler that's going to be going on. That's going to change it from the coolant oil cooler system to actually be able to run a actual external oil cooler that's standalone. I'll put it right down here in the bumper somewhere. I have to figure out what to do with this piping though, because obviously that's going to be kind of blocking it, but I got to figure all that out. I also have a new heater core because the other one with the Mishimoto 28 bar cap, or I should say 28 pound cap, 2-bar cap, is causing the heater core to leak. So I had to pipe that off for the time being. I'm also going to do a couple wiring updates in here. But yeah, just kind of go around overall, make this thing a little bit better. If I can, I'm going to try to get a micro squirt for it as well, or an MS3, which would be real nice to have this thing tuned on, because right now it's tuned on literally MS1, the oldest mega squirt possible. But obviously I have some other things I need to do as well. So like these fenders, I do have new fenders out in my shed. They're kind of beat up there, but have new fenders. They're gold. They'll need to be paint matched to this vehicle, obviously, but not too terribly worried about that. The roof. I want to get a Carbonetics carbon fiber roof for this thing because obviously it is in very, very horrible shape. Clear coat coming up here, but whoever had it previously to my friend having it, they had bondoed the roof and it's just coming up. Sunroof leaks, and the headliner is in the absolute worst condition possible. So I feel like this would be a good time to kind of knock all this stuff out. Also, passenger side door does not open from the outside. The handle broke out there. So I'm gonna see if I can fix that or if I can find another handle for it. But yeah, I have a bunch of things going on with this as well. So I'm gonna be chipping away at this and seeing what I can do. I'm also gonna try to remove this wrap off the rear. I had tried to wrap it one time and I almost made a YouTube video out of it, but I didn't know what I was doing, so you guys will never see that, unfortunately. But yeah, I have a lot of just updates I'm going to be going around and just improving on this thing to make it overall better. Video is obviously about this kind of, and well, kind of that as well. So I've pulled most of the wiring out. Obviously got the cooler out, the ice box out for the water to air intercooler, which I think I'm just going to keep the ice box out of it and just run it with the heat exchanger that's at the front. It should be fine with that, but I'm going to start trying to chase wires and see why a lot of the factory body harness here isn't getting power where it should. So it's kind of what I'm going to focus on here for a little bit. Yeah, you can see there's a nice oil leak too coming from that oil cooler, and could be a lot of other things as well. So maybe, just maybe, if I can get the engine back in that Mazda soon, maybe I'll pull the engine on this and reseal it. At some point, I'm also going to get this thing to my collision center to have the rear bumper repainted. I personally am going to do a paint correction on this thing because I don't know if you can see, but the paint is just real hazy all through here. It's not in the best shape, and then I'm going to try to see if they can fix this. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but see if they can, I don't know, kind of work that back into place, something like that. But maybe go through and kind of touch this up, because I don't know that a paint correction is going to get that out. I'm going to try my best, but I also need to get some touch-up paint because there's a bunch of stuff on the hood that need touch-up as well. But there's like also a dent here, and I think one right in here that I'm going to have them kind of work on. But another real big thing is fixing this front lip, because there's a bunch of like cracks in it and scrapes across it. So see if they can fix that, maybe repaint these kind of things that have been peppered from like road debris. But yeah, it's gonna look great once it's completely done. It's just gonna look great, and I'm way too excited to drive this thing once it, you know, actually runs. Another big thing I need to do is, I don't know if you can see that, but the seat is not bolted in currently, at least on the left front. So I have to find a bolt to fix that, unfortunately. I do also have the trim for this, so this is just off. Probably, I don't know why it was apart in the first place, but I'm going to use it as tracing wires. So other things on this, if you guys saw my YouTube short, I did get this thing started and running on its own. It had a bunch of fueling issues with basically the entire fuel table was just not injecting enough fuel in the system. I also have an issue with the throttle body. It's reading constant, like, it thinks it's open like 20%, and then when you fully open, it only opens like another 20% is what it thinks. But throttle body, or throttle position sensor is literally riveted in, so I'm going to have to go in, drill it out, and put a new throttle position sensor in, which is, you know, perfectly fine. But yeah, just a little bit more things I need to do while I'm in here, and then I can start tuning this. But I also need to get the fuel tank drained, because the fuel tank has like real bad fuel in it. I'm surprised it even started up, because I cracked open one of the lines and it just smells absolutely varnished and not necessarily good. But apparently it's not too old, because the car obviously still ran on it for a little bit, but I do need to get that out of there. You know what, this video was going to be about working on the MR2 and rewiring and stuff, which, don't get me wrong, all that stuff's sitting over here, but now I've turned it into how many cars can I work on in this video and how many projects can I do, because ADHD, you know. So now I'm getting back to retiming this engine. I've loosened up all the cams. I'm going to see if I can just raise the back of these up a little bit to be able to slide that special tool in the back here, get them aligned, put everything up on the front here, and go from there. And hopefully it'll, you know, actually time. It should, but I'm all over the place in this video, as you can tell. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be like this. Another little update. So I finally figured out why I couldn't fit the special tool in here. Cams were 180 degrees out, so I got those flipped around. So that special tool is now in there where it should be. Have the cam gears reinstalled properly with some Loctite on the end of the threads, and going together with timing chain for the oil pump. Soaking in oil right now with the main timing chain tensioner, everything like that. But yeah, moving along pretty nicely. I'm just cleaning up everything to be able to properly install it, make sure it's all clean and good to go. All right, we're gonna do a little recap in this video. So at this point, I've gotten the timing chain on here. Everything's all on. I just need to put the timing cover on, put the balancer on, torque it all in, and that'll be all good. Got the MR2 K-swap over here. Debating on putting the harness and everything just back in it and just making this thing get switched power to the relays just so I can still turn it on and off. Still gonna drain the fuel tank, and I think I just want to drive it. I want to drive it, then we'll circle back in a later video on actually rewiring, pulling everything apart, because I want to enjoy it. But of course, biggest thing is I do need to fix the throttle body, because obviously it's not reading properly, so can't tune it properly or even drive it properly. Got the Talon in here, so I can start tearing that apart and really diving into what needs to really be done on this thing, because it's needed so much work for so much time. It is drivable, but you know, it would make it so much better, you know, if it had some lowering springs, some nice shocks, and, you know, an actual not leaking roof, and a steering wheel that doesn't delaminate in my hand as I'm turning corners. So a lot of different things on that. Oil cooler, because this thing just gets so freaking hot. That'll be real nice as well. We took this MR2 for a drive, absolute ripper, very, very slow, but so much fun and so much more power than it had before. So it's all coming together. This just needs a battery, the new brakes put on, then I can take it over to my collision center, have them finish putting the rest of the front end together, getting it leveled, everything like that, and then it'll be pretty much drivable for my little brother. Be back on to building that engine for my dad. This thing is almost done, very, very close. I'm excited to have this project almost done because it'll free up so much more time for everything else. A little bit more space in the garage, so I don't just have this engine stand sitting here with an engine on it when I can be, you know, have another project there or something, like the FRS, or putting the MR2 right there so I can work on the brakes or something. Have a lot more room to work with putting parts in and everything overall. So this video kind of started with that, and then everything just took a complete 180, but I hope you guys did enjoy it. It's gonna be a good ride, and I hope you guys are enjoying it enough to stick along for the ride, because there's just gonna be so much more to come, and there may be another something to come. Just it's gonna be car related, just it's gonna be more of a long-term thing. If I do it now, you'd probably see it in like a year-ish. Don't want to necessarily give any hints away, because it's something that can't legally be here. But we'll see. We'll see how that actually turns out. We're gonna see. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and share. It definitely helps me out when you guys subscribe. And just remember, don't quit on a body that won't quit. By the way, still no leads on the ITB Miata, so if any of you are interested in buying this, $6 grand marketplace.